Here, input device is capable to converting data into a form and which is recognized by the computer. So whatever the device I'm going to use to feed the data to the computer system, and it is known as input device. When I see any keyboard, the left 6 letters are named as standard keyboard. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on fundamentals of computers, and the topic name here is input device. I'm Revati from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So dear student, before going to start my today's session, let's recall the topic which I have covered in my last session. So dear student, I started with functions of a computer. That means what are the functions are carried out by the computer system. Along with that, I have discussed what is microprocessor, what is storage unit, and program execution in the CPU. Along with that, I have discussed microcontroller. Along with that, I have discussed the difference between microprocessor as well as microcontroller. Anyway, dear student, let's see the today's agenda. So, dear student, in my today's class, I'm going to deal with input device. So, along with that, I'm going to deal with optical mark reader or recognition, or it is also called by the name OMR. Along with that, I'm going to deal with optical character recognition. It's also known by the name OCR or optical character reader. Along with that, I'm going to deal with magnetic ink character recognition or reader, and it's also known by the name MYSURU. So dear student, from the examination point of view, these 3 topics are very important, and you can able to expect 1 mark question from this topic, that is expand OMR, OCR or MYSURU. Anyway, dear student, let's start our today's topic, that is input device. So what is input device here? So input device is used to feed the data. Suppose if I want to enter any data to the computer system, then I require some way. How I'm going to enter the data? Through the keyboard. So here an input device is used to feed data into computer system. Here input device is capable to converting data into a form and which is recognized by the computer. So dear student, for example, think that I'm going to type A, B, C, or I'm going to enter A, B, C, and whatever the letter I'm going to press from the keyboard, that is converted into ASCII. For example, think that I'm going to press A. So what is A here? What is the ASCII equivalent to A? That is 65. And for B, it is 66. And for C, it is 67. So, here the input device capable of, that means whatever the data I'm going to enter, that is converted into the form which is understood by the computer. So, a computer has several input devices. Computer has several input devices. Even if I consider scanner, Scanner is also example for an input device. Mouse, trackball, joystick, scanner, light pen, barcode reader, OMR, OCR, MYSUR, keyboard, etc. These are the example for input device. So here the input device used to accept the data and instructions from the user, and it is called input device. So whatever the device I'm going to use to feed the data to the computer system, and it is known as input device. So here device may be keyboard, mouse, trackball, scanner, joystick, barcode reader, light pen, or OCR, OMR, or MYSUR, etc. Now, dear student, at the beginning, I'm going to have keyboard. So here, keyboards are the most commonly used input device to feed the data to the computer system. So here, it is used to enter both numbers as well as character. So it's mainly used to enter numerical data as well as character type data. And all the keyboards look like mechanical typewriter with alphanumerical keys, punctuation keys, along with special keys, functional keys to perform specific functions. And most of the keyboard includes 101 key or 104 keys. So which are the keys I can able to see on keyboard? That is all the alphabets along with numbers, along with special keys, along with punctuation keys as well as functional keys. So functional key starts from F1 to F12. The keyboard detects the key pressed and generates the corresponding ASCII character. So here computer systems are able to understand only machine language, and whatever the key I'm going to press, that must be converted into ASCII. That means for each key which is present in my keyboard, it has its own ASCII value, and when I press any key in my keyboard, that is converted into ASCII value, that value is the input to the computer system. Now moving on to the type of keyboards, there are 5 type of keyboard. So at the beginning I'm going to have standard keyboard, and this is the most commonly used keyboard. So the standard keyboards have their basic layout, and the average number of keys on a regular standard keyboard is 105 or 108. Then it is called QWERTY. So QWERTY keyboards are most common, and it has 6 letters. That means when I see any keyboard, the left 6 letters are named as standard keyboard. That is nothing but QWERTY keyboard, or the first 6 letters which is present at the first row. And what is the key size here? That is 105 or 108. And I'm going to have my second type, that is ergonomics. So this is also another type of keyboard, and when I required ergonomics keyboard, what is the need of ergonomics keyboard? So dear student, if I spend more time with my standard keyboard, then I may get hand pain or wrist pain. So in order to overcome that, we are going to have ergonomics keyboard. So it refers to study of method that can be reduce stress on muscles to avoid repetitive strain injury. So dear student, when I start continuously typing, then I may get wrist pain. In order to reduce that, I'm going to have ergonomics keyboard. It mostly deals with optimizing postures and techniques while working so that work can be carried out in the easy manner. To reduce the muscles or stress on muscles, I'm going to use ergonomics keyboard. Followed by, I'm going to have my third type, that is wireless keyboard. So what is this keyboard? I have keyboard, but I don't have connection. That means I don't have wire. It is a keyboard that does not need to connect to the computer via wires. I have keyboard, but I'm not going to connect it to the computer system via the wire. So I'm not going to use any wire to connect keyboard to computer. Then how I'm going to connect? With the help of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, or I'm going to connect with the help of infrared. So this makes very convenient for the use of keyboards comfortably. Wireless keyboards uses Bluetooth connection or infrared connection to the computer. That means in my wireless keyboard, how I'm going to connect to the computer system with the help of Bluetooth or infrared. And dear student, I have another type of keyboard, that is virtual keyboard. So what is virtual? Physically it is not present, but I'm going to get same working environment or same working atmosphere. That means it is logically present. So here it is a software device. So all the virtual keyboards are example for software device that leads to use input data just like hardware keyboard. That means I'm going to get same mechanism like hardware keyboard. They open up as an application. That means when I start any application or when I fill any form, that time I'm going to get the virtual keyboard, and which is controlled by the mouse or via touch screen. How I'm going to control virtual keyboard? With the help of mouse or via touch screen. Then what is the need of virtual keyboard when we have standard keyboard? Why I required virtual keyboard? If I take any bank application or any bank application software, they are going to provide virtual keyboard. Why? Because if I use standard keyboard, whatever the keys I'm going to press, that is stored in the log history. So that advisory or intruder can able to access the personal information. To avoid that, most of the financial application, they are going to provide virtual keyboard. Now, the last type here is compact keyboard. So, what is compact? These keyboards are slim. So, whatever the slim keyboard I'm going to have, that is known as compact keyboard. And they don't have numerical keypad. So they don't have any numerical keypad that is present on the right side of keyboard. So they don't have any numerical keyboard that is present on the right side of the keyboard. These are typically used in laptop. That means whatever the laptop keyboards we are going to have, that falls under compact keyboard, or that is the example for an compact keyboard. Moving further, I'm going to have mouse. So what is this mouse? Why I require mouse? So here mouse is also an example for input device, and it's also pointing device. So a mouse is an input device that controls the movement of the cursor. Anyway, dear student, we know what is cursor and where it is present. So, cursors are always on the display screen. To control cursor, I require mouse. So, what is this mouse? Stands for mechanical operated user serial engine. So, what is mouse? Mechanical operated user serial engine. And here mouse is also used as a pointing device. A mouse is a small device you can able to roll or navigate along a flat surface. Suppose if I want to move the mouse, what I required flat surface. So in a mouse, a small ball or IR race is kept inside and touch the pad through a hole. So here most of the mouse uses small ball or IR race. There are two types of mouse, that is mechanical mouse and optical mouse. So what is this mechanical mouse? What is the use of mechanical mouse? It's also the example for mouse and has a small rubber ball. When I have mouse, in that if I have small rubber ball and I'm going to scroll that rubber ball, that kind of mouse is called mechanical mouse. So it has a small rubber ball underneath that moves against two roller as it passes across a flat surface. The next type of mouse here is optical mouse. So this mouse is more accurate and has no moving part. So this mouse has no accurate moving part like mechanical mouse. It uses laser beam to detect movement. This kind of mouse uses laser beam to detect. So these are the two types of mouse. Now I'm going to have my third input device, that is joystick. So here joystick is also an example for input device that includes stick that pivots on a base and reports its angle. So in my joystick I have pivot, and when I move the pivot, it reports its angle or direction to the device it is controlling. So the joystick can be moved in all four directions. That means I can able to move the joystick in four directions. The function of joystick is similar to the mouse. That means the functionality of the joystick is similar to the mouse, and it's mainly used to play the computer games. That means while playing any computer games, I can make use of joystick. So joysticks are also used to controlling machines such as cranes, trucks, underwater, unmanned devices, surveillance camera, as well as zero tuning radius lawn movers. So here I have truck, I have JCB, or I have cranes, truck. Okay, so in cranes as well as trucks, once again I can able to see the use of joystick. That means the working procedure of cranes as well as trucks are same as joystick. Now I'm going to have this scanner. So dear student, this is my fourth input device, scanner. Why I require scanner? To scan the document. And what kind of document I'm going to scan? That is hard copy or printed copy. So I'm going to scan the printed copy in order to get soft copy, that is in the form of electronic document. So the scanner is an input device. So here scanner is also an input device which works more like photocopy machine. So which is going to work more like photocopy machine, and it is used when some information is available. That means when I'm going to use scanner, when I have some information is available on the paper. That means I have hard copy, but I don't have any soft copy of that information. In that time, I can able to scan the hard copy in order to get my soft copy, so that it is to be transferred to the computer. That means I'm going to scan the hard copy to get the information, and I'm going to transfer that information to the computer for further manipulation. So the scanner captures images. That means here scanners are able to capture images from the source which are converted into digital form. So here scanners are used to capture the image, and I'm going to convert that image into digital form or electronic document. Now I'm going to have optical mark reader. So as the name itself indicates that I'm going to use this tool to read the mark which is on the paper. So optical mark reader is a device that reads pencil marks. For example, if there is any pencil mark or pen mark on the paper, and if I want to read that pen mark or paper mark, in that time I'm going to use optical mark reader and converts them into computer processable form. That means I'm going to convert that mark into computer executable form. So here special pre-printed forms are designed. That means where I'm going to have the marks, that is we have some pre-printed form, and which is especially designed for optical character reader. So here a special pre-printed forms are designed with boxes which can be marked. So here we have some pre-printed forms. In that we have some box or some circles, and it can be marked with the dark pencil or ink pen. Such documents are read by the reader. Now, when I have multiple such kind of document, then it is very difficult to perform manual valuation. In that time, what can I do? I can go with the optical mark reader. With the help of mark reader, I can able to read the marks which is on the pre-printed form. Such documents are read by a reader which is responsible for transferring the marks into electronic signal or electronic pulse which are transmitted to the computer. Now, this optical mark reader is responsible for reading the marks. Once the mark is read, that is converted into electronic pulse or electronic signal, and that is given to the computer system. And optical mark readers are most commonly used by many applications like objective type answer papers, evaluation in which large number of candidates appear, time shifts of factory employee, etc. So, these are the applications of OMR. Now, I am going to have OCR. So, what is this OCR? That is optical character recognition or optical character reader. It is mainly used to read the character. The main use of this device is to recognize the alphabets or read the alphabets and numeric characters on the paper. To read any character which is on the paper or any numbers which is on the paper, I am going to use optical character reader. The OCR technique permit the direct reading of any printed character without any special ink. That means OCR helps to read the content which is on the paper without any special ink. So, with OCR, a user can scan a page from a book. So, user can able to scan a page from a book. The computer will recognize the character. The best example I can able to consider Google Lens. By using Google Lens, I can able to read the content which is on the paper or which is on the book. Similarly, by using optical character reader, I can able to read the character or numbers which is present on the book. The computer will recognize the characters in the page as a letter and punctuation mark, and it is responsible for storing. So here OCR is responsible for reading the letters as well as numbers, and it's also responsible for storing the read information. This can be edited by using word processor. Once the data is stored by using word processor, I can able to edit the data. That means I can able to set the font style, font size, font color, etc. So, dear student, let's see the applications of OCR. So, it is mainly used in the applications such as credit card billing. Along with that, to read PIN code number in large post office, we can able to use optical character recognition. Now, I'm going to have MYSUR. So, what is this MYSUR? That is magnetic ink character recognition. So, here MYSUR is a form of character recognition that is capable of reading the text printed with magnetic charged ink. So here MCR is responsible for reading the character or text or number which is printed by using magnetic charged ink. So the shape of the characters by sensing the magnetic charge in the ink. That means in MYSURU, the characters are sensed based on the magnetic charge in the ink. Translate these shapes, that means after reading, translate that shapes to computer processed form. MYSURU is widely used by the bank to process large number of checks. The check can be read using MYSURU. So here, if I consider check, in check we have check number, and to read that check number which is present at the bottom, I'm going to use MYSURU. So the check can be read using a special input device which recognizes magnetic ink character. So which is responsible for recognizing magnetic ink character. So this method eliminates the manual error. That means by using MYSURU, we can able to eliminate the manual errors which is going to happen during the scanning procedure of a check. So it's also save time. By using MYSURU, we can able to save the time, we can able to provide the security as well as data accuracy. So dear student, this is all about MYSURU. So MYSURU is mainly used to read the character which is printed by using magnetic charged ink, and especially it is used by the bank to scan the check. That means whatever the check number we are going to have at the end of the check, to scan that number, I can able to use MYSURU. So dear student, in my today's session, I started with what is input device. Along with that, I have discussed the example for an input devices like keyboard, mouse, scanner, joystick, OMR, OCR and MYSURU. Anyway, dear student, in my next session, I'm going to deal with the output device. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.